For a minute, Democratic lawmaker who's been criticized for backing President Trump's re-election campaign is now calling out his own party. In a tweet, Georgia State Representative Vernon Jones writes, quote, "As a lifelong Democrat and black man, it pains me to admit this, but I've come to a realization. The Democrat Party doesn't give a darn about us. They've become more concerned about putting illegals first and Americans last." I changed that.
Here to explain that, Democratic Georgia State Representative Vernon Jones. Representative, thank you so much for joining us. You sounded a little fired up about that, and I don't blame you. But tell us from your perspective what you heard once you got back after saying good things about Donald Trump.
Well, first of all, it's obvious that the Democratic Party does not care about the black vote. They've taken it for granted, and they certainly do not have room under that so-called Big Tent for those of us who are black and independent with conservative leanings. And so I was very disappointed about what they've been doing, and as my mantra now is I'm going to just make it known how they're treating African Americans, that they don't take our vote as for value. They think it's just going to be there for them, and no longer are we going to be a part of that. As I mentioned, I'll let that plantation turn the lights off, and they can give that suite to somebody else.
Representative, I salute you for your courage. I mean, it's one thing to, as a Democrat to come out and say this, another thing to express support for the president in light of how your party feels about him. You say you tweet about coming to the realization. What was that process, coming to this realization?
Well, let me be clear. This president has shown two great things. One, leadership. Two, results. And what he has done for the African American community is unparalleled to any president in modern times. And so I put my party last. I put my country before my party. And I wish more people would do that. And this country can get many other things accomplished and done for its people, for the American people. And so President Trump, through Opportunity Zone districts, through helping historical black colleges, in which I attended North Carolina Central University, as well as when you look at what he's done for the economy and creating jobs. And clearly the Criminal Justice Reform Act, which Joe Biden helped craft that bill that literally incarcerated masses of black people. And to even think that a black person would want to vote for Joe Biden, it just doesn't make sense. Donald Trump has a proven record of getting things done, period, for all Americans, and certainly what he's done for the African American community, again, is just amazing. And we need to reelect him, and I will do everything I can to help him get reelected.
Have you received any backlash from your own party, from any Democrats in your community?
Well, first of all, what are they going to do? Spank me? They call themselves censoring me, but there's a pattern going on here. State representative out in Tennessee, one in Michigan, that are Democrats who spoke independently with some conservative leanings, and they've been ostracized, and one has been taken off the ballot. So there's a pattern here, and this is what the Democratic Party has been doing for years. And so don't only ask me, Diddy, the rapper, just recently said that Joe Biden and the Democratic Party would no longer take our votes for granted. And that is serious. And so the Democratic Party is horrified. They're terrified that I am getting blacks to wake up, yes, become woke as to what's going on so they can be more independent. Vote, as a matter of fact, it's voter suppression by the Democratic Party. They are literally trying to suppress blacks who want to vote for Donald Trump. They want to ostracize them. They want to criticize them. And that's the real voter suppression we should be fighting. And that's what I plan to fight.
Well, Representative, I got to tell you, all you ask for is people on both sides of the aisle to call balls and strikes the way they see them. So hats off to you.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, calling balls and strikes, putting my country before my party, and electing leaders who really get the job done. And, you know, one courageous person is in the crowd is a majority. And so if I had to take the hits for it, fine. I want to make sure that black people and American people know what the Democratic Party is doing. They have been run by plantation owners. And blacks who are working, or I should say, listening to their message, they're merely plantation workers. So, look, leave that farm, think independently, be who you are, be conservative like we've always been.
Vernon Jones, you got a fan in me. Thank you for your courage. Thanks for speaking out today. Really appreciate it. Great stuff. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.